Our best player, Victor James Osimhen, has officially joined Galatasaray on a permanent deal. The transfer saga that seemingly was never ending has finally ended. And what an underwhelming end to the story. This feels like watching Squid Game. Squid Game season 1 was so exciting. Squid Game season 2, you're like, okay, okay. Squid Game season 3, the end. It was like, so a baby one. Okay, move on. Sorry for anybody that has not watched. That's a spoiler. But that's how it feels following this Victor Osimhen saga. I was so excited about it in the beginning. Season 2, you're like, okay, season 2 is not too interesting, but we like season 1, so we'll still follow season 2 and give them a chance. Season 3, you're like, okay, so last he went to Galatasaray for the biggest amount of money. Okay. For me, I don't know why. I know that Osimhen is like a mini god now in Nigeria. But I don't know why people are so scared to say what is the truth and what is obvious to everybody, that he joined Galatasaray because they offered him the best financial package. I mean, he was very adamant about the fact that he's not going to lower his wages. I'm not saying he should have, but obviously money was at the forefront of his mind. He also did not want to go to Saudi, so that was why he didn't go and take the million bucks in Saudi. But he had other options that he could have taken, and he didn't take them. Similarly, I was personally underwhelmed by this transfer. How do you feel now that Osimhen is permanently a Galatasaray player for the next couple of years, at least on contract? And you know, do we need to start saying, oh, he should score 40 goals this season? Like, are we actually? Do we care about this season? What do you say?
I don't think I really care now, but I'm happy that he got at least signed for a club. So at least you have a place to stay. Is after you have a place to stay, you can compare maybe the roof is leaking or there's rat in the house. Or at least you have a club. You escape. I think probably a war zone, because for me, I think Napoli betrayed it in so many areas, and I think that for his mental health, the best place he could go now is Gala. That's where they love him so much. So, you said something that he went for the money. There's no longer a news again. That's actually what he went for the money. He went for those that actually what offered him, big bucks. So, and Nagasari, and he has the right too, because football career is very short. If they can be offering these boys, the boy in Newcastle, say they want to get 300K. Sesko, look at Gyökeres, Sesko, saying they want to get this money. What is stopping you from offering Victor Osimhen that same amount of money? So you want him to actually have a pay cut. So what's prestige just Man you have that will go there and go and get a pay cut? Is Man U a big club? Is Man U a big club that I will say I want to get a pay cut? A club that finished is this a 16th or so, I mean 15th or so in the Premier League, and I'm not going there to go and play kicker. I'm going to play with Onana. See, no, you have to. I'm playing with Harry Maguire. See, the issue is this: Man U should do their best to sign Victor Osimhen. Not Victor Osimhen should do his best to sign for United. It's not attractive any longer. It's not the United of Ronaldo, of Wayne Rooney again. So for me, I'm happy that he said that he's not joining United because they asked him to lower his wage. For me, I think Chelsea moved on from Victor Osimhen. So I don't think that they even wanted to get him this summer. I think they moved on from Victor Osimhen. And also, I don't know who else again, but I heard the news today from Gary Lineker.
Yes.
That some clubs said that.
So, Larry, hold that thought, because I was going to get us into that as well.
So let me just wrap up this one. Say he went because of money, and I'm happy that he got his money. Man, you go and finish your 17th.
Okay. Brian Moment says our players know they learn. Don't stay to watch all the seasons. If season 2 bang, they go elsewhere. See Ademola, seeing Didi when he was getting big offers. He for just sit down, they play EFL. I think it means EPL. But yes, that moment is saying no more. If 1-2 seasons bang, just move on. You don't need to see how the story ends. For this Victor Osimhen one, look.
Sorry, IoT, before you go continue, you are mentioning super chats. you're mentioning like season 1, season 2. Don't be like Anshio, the big Anshio of Tottenham Hotspur. Say season 1, season 2, season 3 is the Saka.
The Saka before season 3 starts.
Continue. Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, this thing's underwhelming for me. See, again, the whole financial part of the deal was very complicated. You know, I objectively felt like what Osimhen was asking for was too much, honestly. I know everybody thinks that Osimhen has this pedigree and all these things, but especially in the Premier League, there's a certain number of factors that Osimhen did not have. Osimhen has only had one season in the top flight where he scored more than 20 goals. That was the Scudetto season with Napoli. Nobody is really going to look at what he did in Turkey and say that that is proof that he's worth any X amount of money that he's asking for. It was proof that he's still a top striker, but it wasn't proof that he's a top striker to the point of demanding what the likes of Salah are earning after proving themselves in the Premier League for a large number of years. So that's why I felt like his demands were a little bit excessive, because what he was demanding was on par, if not higher than what some of the players that have played in the Premier League for 4 or 5 years and have earned that amount of money are getting. And I also felt like if any team gave him that money, it was going to change the direction and going to change the shape of the club's wage bill for a foreseeable future. But at the end of the day, Osimhen felt like he was worth a certain amount and he did not want to take less than that. I give him kudos for that. It's not very easy to stand your ground when faced by these big clubs, when big money is in the conversation. So he stood his ground. He made a decision for himself. I just think that from a football point of view, the decision is going to hurt. For a personal, financial, mental health point of view, the decision is going to favor him. He's going to make good money. He's going to be happy. He's going to be able to take care of his family. Any projects that he wants to run, he's going to be able to run those projects with relative ease. But from a football fan's point of view, we're not going to see our best player in a good league. We're not going to be paying that much attention to him. He's never going to be in a Ballon d'Or conversation because he scored 30 plus goals in Turkey. Hopefully they can at least make the knockout round of the Champions League, but you don't expect more from Galatasaray at that level. It's going to be underwhelming from a football point of view. However, I love Victor Osimhen. If you've been following EaglesTracker for a long time, when I interviewed him, you know that Osimhen and I have a shared bond, a shared connection, because I saw Osimhen, before he even had, or before he could have dreamt of the kind of fame, attention, money, everything that he has now. And I really like him and support him because of that. There's just many different things that have come into play. And one of the things that potentially came into play was what Smithlai was alluding to. And I have the video here for us to watch so that we can look at it, we can hear what was said, and we can talk about it properly. But before I play that video, let me just read this comment from Real K. He says, I wouldn't be watching Gala next season as Turkish league isn't attractive to me. I watched last season only in anticipation of Osimhen making a big move. That's a very interesting point. A lot of people watched it last season to see how he did so that he can get that big move and they wouldn't have to watch it again. But the fact that he's staying now, Real K here is saying he is not going to watch them again. He'll probably just be waiting for the post on EaglesTracker to see how Osimhen has done. Maybe he would watch in the Champions League. But going over to the comments that were made recently on the Rest is Football podcast, England legend Gary Lineker, when posed with the question by Micah Richards, he had something to say about what potentially stopped some big teams from signing Victor Osimhen. Let's hear what he has to say.
Absolutely brilliant for Napoli. I mean, he was sensational for that season. I do hear on the grapevine that a reason one or two of the clubs are a little bit nervous is that he sometimes can go missing for a few days. So there's apparently some kind of slight question mark as to his character in that sense. But whether that's true or not, I wouldn't confirm it. But that's what someone that's quite close to one or two big clubs and agents and stuff like that. But I don't know.
That makes sense then. But
because he does seem strange, doesn't it? He's never ended up at one of the giants because he's talent-wise.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So Gary Lineker said what he heard from someone that is close to the big clubs, big agents, is that Osimhen could sometimes go missing. And essentially, he's just alluding to Osimhen potentially having character issues. And that is why some clubs did not want him in their team. Smithlai, how do you feel about that?
If I say that I've not heard this thing before, I'm lying. And because I knew that he should be joining Arsenal now. And some people that are listening here will probably say that, I'm saying the truth. He should join Arsenal here. Before Edu left, I think they are trying to get the deal done, you know. But this is not confirmed though. You know, I heard that maybe probably they did some investigation too. That Ateta played with some Nigerian players before, just to ask some few questions, about what can actually what be. But the problem is, I don't think that Victor Osimhen goes missing. I don't think so. I think what you're referring to was that when he was spraying money, he said he's not back in Napoli. You remember that video when he was spraying money? He's not back yet and things like that. I don't think that there's an issue with that. But, I've been hearing this story about his character, him going missing and everything, him trying to talk back in training. I've been hearing those type of things, on a regular basis. But, when you want to pick on you, they pick on you. Everybody cannot be Lukman, that does not talk. But it's just sad that, that this is how they look at Victor Osimhen. But for me, I think Victor Osimhen is a true professional, and I think that he deserves our support.
It's a very big thing if clubs are talking about you in that manner. We as Nigerians, we back our own always. We say that some of these things don't matter. Even when he came out and bashed his coach, some people still supported him and said he can do no wrong. But it appears that these things can catch up with you. I know that from a personal financial point of view, you might say, well, I didn't lose anything. I'm getting even more money. I'm playing, I'm still a star. But from a football fan's point of view, I always say I look at things purely from a football fan's point of view, because whether they pay the player 1 billion or not, I don't get a single dollar or single kobo out of it. So I have the money for the player doesn't come as a factor in my thoughts. I simply talk about it from a fan's point of view. It's rather unfortunate if our best player has been looked at like this. Like you mentioned, Smith, like, if I also come here and say I've never heard things like this before, I'm lying. Even I personally spoke to an agent who, without revealing who the agent is, an agent who works with Premier League players. If I talk, I want to say something else. If I talk so much, people will know who I'm talking about. But he has worked on some of the biggest deals this summer as well. And the agent told me that, see, guy, people don't trust Osimhen's discipline and character. But if a Nigerian says it, other Nigerians will tell you in a bad belly that you're supposed to support your own. But if you cannot say the truth to your own, how does your own fix the issues that he might have? And I think that with Osimhen, people need to be real with him. You are a superstar. Nobody can take that away from you. You're one of the best strikers in the world. Nobody can take that away from you. But if there are character questions, if there are things that are making people not want to be aligned with you, you need to fix those things. Evidently, not everybody's as desperate as Galatasaray. As desperate as you might say that Arsenal are for a striker, they were not desperate enough to pay big money to somebody that they felt like could bring some bad blood or some bad energy. As desperate as Manchester United are, they are still very desperate. They were not desperate enough to take a chance on Victor Osimhen. Chelsea were not desperate enough to take that chance. It just means that behind closed doors, not the best things are being said about you. And Gary Lineker has come out to say this. And I have to believe Gary Lineker, because I feel like Lineker has no reason to lie. It's not like, he has any personal interest in Osimhen's transfer or he's friends with Osimhen. They've probably never spoken, never met. He's just saying what he's been told. And you heard the other people on the panel, they said, well, it makes sense because his talent is too much for nobody to be looking in his direction, for there to not be a bidding war. And I know that Osimhen is happy at Galatasaray, very happy. But I also would imagine that he doesn't want to spend the rest of his career at Galatasaray. I want to imagine that he still has big dreams and big hopes and big ambitions. Like he did. We heard him speak as a youngster. He had big dreams and big ambition. I want to believe that money has not made him forget about those ambitions. Because he can still have and achieve those things while making money. So I really hope that anything that needs to be fixed is fixed. His agents, his team, if he has one, they need to fix his reputation behind the scenes. Osimhen against streets, nobody can doubt that. Twitter, Nigerians, all the people that he has flown to different games, to
Very
different
dark man, yes.
they are all these people that will fight for him.
Mm-hmm.
But those are Twitter people, those are not the boardroom people. Those are not the people that make decisions, those are not the people that move the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Those are people that make noise on social media. And he needs to have noise beyond just social media, beyond just EaglesTracker, beyond just Gun Football, beyond just the Nigerian influencers or the Nigerian people that support him regardless of what happens. Because again, none of us are involved in these decisions that are being made. None of us are in these boardrooms. I like Victor Osimhen. I think he's a fantastic player. But when I heard this, I was like, wow. For Lineker to come out and say it must be really something. But I wish him all the best, man. I really wish him all the best. I hope that he has a fantastic season with Galatasaray.
Yeah.